Howard Lawrence Carr.
I kissed the Blarney Stone. That explains my gift of gab.
On the Howie Carr WRKO Radio Network.
43221-877-469-4322. Big hike in tolls for Pike looming. Mass Pike chiefs are mulling plans to hike tunnel tolls to $8.50 while increasing some toll roads to $2.25 to help raise critical funds for the cash-strapped agency. Under one plan, tolls at Alston, Brighton, and Weston could rise from $1.25 to $2.25, and tunnel tolls could spike by $5 to $8.50. You know, they've been talking about laying off the toll takers, but oddly enough, talking about laying off the toll takers has not produced any savings.
I think long-term we will need additional revenues, and I am open to the discussion of having a gas tax.
Oh, God.
Tolls are good for a number of reasons. One, I think environmentally, I think getting rid of the tolls would actually encourage more driving, which is not, I believe, in our long-term interest.
That's Carolyn Dykema. She's running in the Holliston-Hopkinton State Representative District. She represents people who commute on the Pike, and she's saying tolls are good. And I know she's gonna. I know her comeback now is I didn't realize they were going to raise them that high. But you know, if you're saying tolls are good, then if you make tolls higher, that's got to be better, right? I mean, there's no way around it. She's stuck with her own statement at this candidates debate in August.
The equity issue is a big one. I think what's been talked about is adding additional tolls on roadways, especially going up to New Hampshire. Quite frankly, there are a lot of Massachusetts residents that are working and commuting to New Hampshire right now. I think having tolls on either end, going north and south, is appropriate. I think we should expand the tolls out into Western Mass where they were.
Oh, great. She wants tolls everywhere. And on her own constituents, too. Great. 1-877-4. She's crazy. That's the only thing I can say. I thought you wanted to represent your own constituents and get the best deal from. She's talking about punishing her own constituents. 1-877-469-4322. Joining us now on the line is Mary Connaughton. She's a member of the Mass Turnpike Board of Directors. Mary, this is bad news. I mean, this is a little bit ahead of the rate of inflation, these toll increases that are being proposed.
Well, they certainly aren't large, Howie. That would be going in and out. It would cost about $8 for people, round trip to go in and out. It's not right. The basis for this is all the big costs, the tunnel costs, decisions that have been deferred over the years, deals that have been cut over the years.
But this is, again, Mary, it comes back to the same discussion. I mean, the people that, like you and like me and the people to the west of the city, we paid for our road 20 years ago. Now we're paying for somebody else's road. But while most of the money that the people, the east-west commuters have paid, most of our money that was supposed to keep up our road has instead gone to build a new road for the north-south commuters.
That's exactly what happened, Howie. That's exactly what happened.
I don't use the road that all this money went to, but I'm paying for it. This is taxation without representation.
That's tollation without representation. You're absolutely right.
My prediction is they would rather screw the people in the east, in Metro West, because we don't have proper representation at the legislative level. I mean, you heard that candidate, that Democratic candidate from Holliston-Hopkinton. She's saying it's okay. Go. Tolls are great. Tolls are wonderful.
Well, I think if Dan Haley beats her, and I'm confident that he will, that Dan knows who has the right to stand on this. He's a good guy, and I hope he wins.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, joining us now is Scott Brown. He wanted to get in on this. Senator Scott Brown. Senator Brown, this cannot stand.
You know, Howie and Mary, how are you? And Howie, good evening to you and your listeners. Let me just say one thing, okay? There's a complete lack of trust between the citizens of the Commonwealth and the drivers who use our roads. And until there's some legitimate and real reforms, consolidation, savings, the taxpayers are just going to keep getting it up to you know what.
You just can't. You can't squeeze blood from a stone here. With Metro West. I mean, you're talking here, Mary. If you went with the increases on at the 128, and in Alston, that's an extra $20 a week. 20,
Yes.
20. That means you got to make 35 extra bucks just to pay for the increase in the tolls. Okay, who can Scott and Mary? Can you stick around, or you got to go?
Sure. No, I'm just stuck in traffic.
Okay, Mary, can you stick around?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, and we got a candidate for state rep. They'll be back when we return. 1-877-469-4322. I'm Howie Carr.
Nobody knows Boston like Howie Carr.
So yesterday, the board of directors of the Mass Turnpike had a meeting in Sturbridge, and they discussed raising the tolls. A $5 rise at tunnels is one possibility. $1 jump posed for elsewhere. With us is Mary Connaughton. She's a member of the Turnpike board of directors. Scott Brown. He's a senator from one of the affected areas. He's my state senator, and also joining us is Dan Haley. He is a candidate for the state legislature, the state house, from the Holliston-Hopkinton district. And we just got a sound bite from his opponent, Carolyn Dykema, in a debate in August. And this is what she had to say about both the tolls and the gas tax. And remember, she would represent constituents who drive the pike every day.
The equity issue is a big one. I think what's been talked about is adding additional tolls on roadways, especially going up to New Hampshire. Quite frankly, there are a lot of Massachusetts residents that are working and commuting to New Hampshire right now. I think having tolls on either end, going north and south, is appropriate. I think we should expand the tolls out into Western Mass where they were. I think tolls are good for a number of reasons. One, I think environmentally, I think getting rid of the tolls would actually encourage more driving, which is not, I believe, in our long-term interest. We should be looking at more public transportation. The gas tax issue, right now, I think what the public is looking for efficiencies in government. That said, if we've exhausted the possibilities there and we need to generate more revenues, and I'm very concerned with the state of our infrastructure right now. Recently, the bond bill passed. We have some funding there, but I think long term we will need additional revenues. And I am open to the discussion of having a gas tax as long as it is dedicated to transportation infrastructure needs.
What she means is an increase in the gas tax, although she doesn't use the word increase. So Dan Haley, there's your opponent. She's not only in favor of tolls, she doesn't mind raising the gas tax.
Well, Howie, thank you for having me on. Yeah, I would note that on Beacon Hill, there's never a long distance between the discussion and the bill coming and hitting your wallet. But if you listen to the rationale for why she's in favor of more tolls. She said it encourages people not to drive, which is in our long-term best interests. And so I have a hard time seeing how that doesn't extend to higher gas taxes as well. She's she's a good, well-meaning person, but she's just got a different way of thinking about things. And in her world, it makes sense for the government to price people out of their cars because
it's easy to get a bus from Hopkinton to Logan Airport at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, isn't it, Dan?
Well, I just think it's in people's long-term best interest and short-term best interest to be able to get to work and do their jobs.
It's just amazing, Scott, that there is this mindset. I mean, you see it every day already on Beacon Hill. They think that not only is it good to collect tolls, but it's good to punish their constituents by collecting more tolls and more taxes.
Well, Howie, you have a good candidate, one of the best candidates running in Dan Haley right now, and he gets it. And, after hearing, his opponent talk, I mean, I would be shocked if the people in the Metro West in that area, would vote for her. I mean, it's just it's a clear example of just not getting it. I mean, the best interest of who? We need to have jobs. We need to have people going to work so they can pay their bills and they can, contribute to, keeping our state competitive.
We're going to have to take a break here, and I appreciate everybody being with us here tonight. Senator Scott Brown, Mary Connaughton, Dan Haley, candidate for state rep in the Hopkinton Holliston district. Thanks for being with us, guys. Okay.
Thank you, Howie. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. I'm Howie Carr.